The moonlight shimmered in the freshly made petals, Oliver Hyde's boots disturbing the moon's reflection. He looked ahead and could see a glimmer of lights coming from a barn, not far from Edward's barn. He thought, old Edwards must have a new barn. He changed direction slightly, heading towards the light. He could hear muffled voices in the deathly quiet night. Oliver stood at the barn door, peeking through the crack, wondering if he should just go back home. This isn't for me, he thought. He could see the bride and the groom. A promise is a promise, he thought, looking across the crowds of dishcloth-covered people. All eyes turned towards the entrance as Oliver Hyde entered the barn. Jim came up and patted his shoulder. "Thank you for coming, Oliver. Let's get you a drink and get you playing." It wasn't long before Hyde was removing the violin from its case, carefully holding it like an infant. His finger ran along the smooth, lacquered wood. He plucked a string. Something about it made him feel partially alive. It lifted that veil of darkness just a little. His dishcloth hung limply over his face, covering his sorrow, hiding him from the world he would never be a part of again, not without his wife. How would that be fair? His veil gave him security. He could never be without it. Darkness, fear, and the deepest sorrow filled his heart. He played, and out of the strings sang all of his misery. The room was silent. The pain echoed into the souls of the wedding guests, like a wretched hand reaching inside the chests of all those near, crushing light and love from their hearts in its death-like claw. Oliver had looked through his veil at the tortured faces in the room, feeling his hate, his sorrow, his disdain for life. He almost smiled as he continued playing his tormenting tune. He looked down at his feet, his cup of punch only half drunk. He kicked it with his foot. That amused him too. Jim looked around at the guests, his beautiful daughter, there at her wedding, with dishcloths on their heads. Oh, he regretted his decision in asking Hyde to play. He only hoped that Hyde too could feel even a fraction of the happiness he had. He gripped his daughter's hand and looked at her, covered in a sheer white dishcloth. She squeezed his hand back, then shook it off. She took a handful of the dishcloth, covering her golden hair, and then threw it onto the ground, tears streaming down her face. Her cheeks were red with emotion. She lifted her full skirt slightly and stormed over towards Oliver Hyde. "You have ruined my wedding," she yelled as she continued towards him. She didn't notice the spilled drink which had trickled its way across the room. She slipped, falling backwards, her head cracking against the stone floor. A red pool of blood spreading, framing her porcelain face and blank staring eyes. Hyde returned to his house, locking himself inside. Sometimes at night, hauntingly sad music would echo across the lawn, tormenting those who heard it. It is said that his hate, despair, and pain changed him not just inside. He is said to have become a twisted, cruel monster who fed on the sorrow of others. Fear of this evil creature spread quickly. Rumors of woeful music being heard at weddings, and then the bride's demise, filled the ears of all who could hear. From this day on, brides wear veils over their faces. It is said to keep the evil spirit of Oliver Hyde at bay. For if you remove the veil too soon, that sorrowful melody will find you, and you will feel the wretched embrace of Oliver Hyde as he drags you to the nether realm.